Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Nyra, a local radio station, heard on frequencies 99.9 FM HD4, 101.9 FM, and 1490 AM. This is Vani Vicharapu, your host at Radio Nyra. Today, we have an incredible guest with us, Seema Kak, works for Kiran, Executive Director of a nonprofit organization serving South Asian community facing domestic violence and sexual assault in the state of North Carolina. Welcome to you, Seema Kak.
Thank you.
Could you please tell us about you and the significance of the word Kiran itself?
Sure. I'll start with myself, as you said, and everyone mutilates my name a little bit, so it's Seema Kak. I have been with Kiran for over 5 years now. I started out as a client services manager and I did that for about 2.5 years, and then took over as the executive director. It's been a very fulfilling, very sort of experience that is beyond words. This is a very, very, very close to my heart and very close to the heart of all the people that work at the organization. Has a meaning in many languages, especially in Hindi. It means a ray of hope, ray of light, and that is what we feel we are for the clients that we work with. We're just a ray of that hope, sunshine, light that they look up to.
Great. Okay. Does Kiran support only the victims of domestic violence, or do you support any other victims?
Okay, that's a good question. Our funding is primarily for domestic violence and sexual assault. So those are the two main areas. But there's so much that comes under domestic violence that, people sometimes are just amazed and say, I didn't know this was domestic violence. But to answer your question, it's domestic violence and sexual assault.
Okay. And what phase or what cycle does the Kiran exactly interferes or comes in place in a victim's life?
It can be, we get clients at every stage of their wherever they're at. So we get calls from clients who are just inquiring, like, okay, what do you do? What are my rights? Is this some kind of violence that I'm facing? And then we have clients that call and say, I need to leave today, or I'll get killed, or I'll need to leave with my children. What can I do? And then everything in between, which means, referrals to attorneys, referrals to immigration attorneys, and then mental health therapists. So it's like a wide area of like wherever they're at is where we'll meet them.
Okay. And what are the most successful programs that Kiran have conducted so far, and what are the challenges faced?
It would be let me tell you what our mission is. So our mission is to essentially end the cycle of abuse and empower the victims that we serve, and eventually educate the youth, the younger generations of the South Asian communities that we work with, and then also the victims that we serve, the difference between our clients that we serve and a mainstream DV victim is providing those culturally specific services, and whether it's social, economic, like I said, immigration, whatever, because there is a difference between how the mainstream victims see domestic violence and how South Asian victims see it. So knowing that that's our mission, we don't just have a person come in and give them the services. We hope that they will be empowered enough that they can lead a successful, respectful life and be at a place that they want to be happier, be self-sufficient. Having said that, there's so many programs that run in parallel, and then to someone this may not sound like a big deal, but we have clients who have lived in the country for 20 years but have not been allowed to drive. They don't know, and when you ask them, they'll say, well, I wasn't allowed to. I couldn't get a driver's license. And for them, that liberation, because we have many partners in the community. So going along with that example, if somebody has never driven a car, so we'll work with, assisting them with getting driver's lessons, then we'll assist them with going to a DMV and getting a license, and then comes the problem that they don't own a car. So all those steps of, and then when you finally see that person, driving a car, the happiness and the freedom they feel from that, all these little things to big things like, somebody stranded in India who is either a U.S. citizen or has a green card, but, has been abandoned there. When she or he comes here, they're reunited with their children. I mean, that is such a rewarding feeling again. Or someone who, came from one of the countries that we serve 9 countries. When they get here, their paperwork, their, certificates from college, all that is destroyed by the abuser. And then it takes them years to get all those documents. They don't have a birth certificate. They don't have all those college degrees. And imagine going back to like some village in India or Pakistan or Nepal and trying to get those documents again. It takes a while. And when they finally have all that, the success of being, I can get a job now. I can say that I have this degree. All these things are like, like I said, to an outsider, it may seem like a small thing, but for us, all these are victories. All these are,
absolutely
something we celebrate.
Yeah, and you are. I think Kiran is doing an incredible job supporting the victims at that who have no faith, but be with them, support them, and make sure that they are being independent on their own. That's an awesome job. And one more question is, what if a normal person wants to be a part of the great work that Kiran has been doing? What I mean is how to fund or donate Kiran.
Okay, so we're actually very active on social media. We realized, years ago that that's the way to reach the community and people. So we are very active. We have a website, www.kiraninc.org, which has all the information on it, how, people we serve, ways to volunteer, ways to donate. Very simple. You click on the donate button and, you can use PayPal, credit card. You can just send us a check at our address. We have a physical office. We have staff. We have, so that can also be done. We have a Facebook page. We're very active on Facebook. It's just Kiran, if you search Kiran. We're very active on Instagram. It's Kiran_NC. So there are many ways, but probably the best way is just to go kiraninc.org and you'll see all our information on there. And then we have, like I said, we have a physical office in Raleigh. People can come visit us. People can call us.
Okay.
Many ways.
All the information is basically available on the website for
Yes, it is. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know, Seema. Anything do you want to add?
Yes, I would, so Kiran, just a little bit of history. I think back in 2006-07, there weren't as many South Asians in this area. So we serve the entire state of North Carolina. It's not just RTP area. We have a chapter in Charlotte as well because we saw the numbers were so high in that area. And we have a team there as well. But there were few women and men back in 2006 and 7 who, had friends coming and talking to them and talking about, abuse in their families. And in 2008, a group of these people got together and they said, okay, let's do something to help. And they started using their own money, their own space. And then it kind of grew from there, and then somebody wrote the first grant. So we're federally funded and we're also state funded. That's how our funding comes. And we grew so much, like from 10 calls to 15 calls. I'll give you the number from last year in 2021. We served 557 people.
Wow.
Let that sink in. 557 people in this area. And we attended to 2,036 crisis calls.
Wow. Okay.
Just so numbers sink in that this is, again, our community in this area in Charlotte. So these numbers are growing. It's sad when we, talk about these numbers because they're obviously growing exponentially because also the South Asian communities in this area are growing. but at the same time, we keep telling people that we are so glad that we're here to serve these people, that we are, they have a place to come to. They can,
Absolutely.
and you should see when people walk into our office or they talk to us and they say, do you speak Hindi? Do you speak Telugu? Do you speak Punjabi or Urdu? And we have volunteers, trained volunteers that speak most of these languages, and the happiness they feel in talking in their own language because they can relate better. So similarly, we have mental health therapists who speak different languages, and the clients feel so much better talking in the language. I'm sure when you're stressed or happy, you kind of think your thoughts are in your own language. So
Yes.
people like to, talk to somebody there that makes them comfortable. So we try to, have our clients feel sort of take away the other stresses that they would have, same as court accompaniment if they need to go to court and they're very nervous. So we'll try to find a staff or a volunteer to go with them on that day if they don't have anyone else to go with. All these services we provide, and like I said, we have over 100 trained volunteers from the community, people like you and everyone else in the community. So we encourage people to look us up, sign up to volunteer, even if it's, and we have a 24-hour crisis hotline. And that itself, I do want to give out the number for that. It's 1-877-625-4726. So that's essentially 187 crisis NC. So these are the numbers they can call. And we have an office number, 919-831-4203. And like I said, we're walk-in. People can walk in 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, or call that crisis hotline 24 hours. And that crisis hotline is actually manned by our trained volunteers who speak different languages, who will connect if there's a crisis. They'll, walk them through that. Going back to your question about the bazaar, why do we have the bazaar?
Yes.
That was where we started. So there are two aspects of our outreach and the things we do in the community. One is essentially for fundraising. But the bazaar is not so much for fundraising, it's for outreach. Different ways to connect with the community. So this Kiran Bazaar has been, I think this is the 7th or the 8th time we're doing it. And it's always a huge success. Who doesn't want to shop? Everyone wants to come and shop. Okay. It's also a way for them as they're walking in, they shop. Kiran does not get any benefits from this. It's purely people coming, local vendors doing their business, people coming shopping in one place. But we want people to know about Kiran. So this is a way of getting these 1,000 people to pick up a brochure. The first 100 people that come on Sunday will get a gift bag, which will have some surprise goodies, but everyone that walks in can also pick up a brochure and know more about Kiran. It may be a friend, it may be a neighbor, it may be a sister, it may be a brother. We serve men as well. We have men that we're working with. It could be anyone that needs that help. And if you have that brochure and if you so this is totally purely outreach and connecting with our communities. That's great. Okay. So I hope we see you there on Sunday. It's this Sunday at HSNC Main Hall, 12 to 7.
12 to 7. Okay. Awesome, Seema. And I appreciate all the effort that Kiran has been doing, being there for the victims in any which ways, providing services to the victims, however possible, taking care of their necessities. That's an incredible job that Kiran has been doing, and appreciate all the efforts.
Can I just add one more thing? Because
yes.
it wouldn't be fair if you didn't mention them. We cannot. We are usually a staff of 4 to 5 full-time staff, but we have, like I said, incredible volunteers in the community, and then we have a very powerful, strong, supportive board, which is the executive board that, governs and looks at, if we're doing everything right. And then a wonderful advisory board, which is who the, 6-7 people that do these events, that coordinate everything, and you'll get to meet them on Sunday. So it's not just one person doing it. It's a whole community so like I said, I keep saying volunteer opportunities are there. Please look us up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think our listeners would be hearing this and the message has already passed. So you might be getting more volunteers now.
We would love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
It was nice
thank
talking
you
to
so much
you.
for giving us this opportunity, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
hope to see everyone at the bazaar. And then we do two main events. Another one will be the Kiran Walkathon on October 2nd. So please look us up and join us.
Definitely. And it's an honor to be with you today on the show. And thank you for sharing all the information that's more valuable.
So much. Thank you, Vani. Thank you, Radio Nyra, for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
You have a very good day.